Well, we all are trying to build our own little castle, and to have a beautiful home with a great outdoor landscape is really what people need to improve the value of their home. Stay tuned. We got an expert here to talk about it. Giddy up. Welcome back to the Your Little Castle show. But we're talking about, we got to get this thing aired, man. I do want to put the show. This is great information here that Carlo is providing with us here to help people understand how important it is to properly install everything you need for your landscaping, your hardscaping. And I'm going to ask him a couple questions. But first, welcome our guest again here, Carlo Shavira. Shah instead of Cha, right?
Shavira, yes, sir.
There we go. He's the owner, operator. He's out in the field too. High-end Outdoor, highendoutdoor.com, High-End Outdoor Solutions, 314-764-0225. What is the difference between, and what is the different hardscaping versus landscaping? Tell me what the difference is there.
Well, the main difference, I mean, it's in the name. You know, one you work with either man-made rock, which is what goes into a retaining wall, or either natural stone, and the other one you're basically, you get a flat land or whatever it is, you're recreating the space, you know, which is a moving dirt over there, putting mulch, you know, that good stuff. That's the main difference, yeah.
Okay, so it's land versus
building, building something.
Versus hard, which is rocks and bricks. What do they call them, pavers?
Pavers, yeah, exactly.
Is that popular? Okay. I'm not sure what the paver is, because paver I thought was the guy who laid it. But essentially it is for the ground, though.
It's those little, either small pavers there, you can see it right there, the small pavers, or or you know, that you got the big ones as well, you know, man-made or natural stone.
Okay.
To the customer.
Gotcha. Yes. Okay. Well, that's why you bring in an expert here, so we can understand what are all these techie terms, and so at least I can do a little YouTube and Google search to figure out what you're talking about. But don't try to become a YouTube expert; it will never happen. In a time, how do you replace 15 years of experience, and then his dad with another 30? That'll be tough to do. But help me go over a little bit more. Tell me a little bit what the biggest mistake. People often everybody's conscious of the price, right?
Yeah.
What's this going to cost me? And what you're saying is a lot of times the biggest mistake you can make is going with the cheapest.
Yeah, cheapest.
Because they're this is the cost. We'll do this. They're cutting something out.
Yeah, it's not doing your homework again on the company itself. You know, you just go with the price that they give you, the cheapest price, and it's gonna end up costing you more. I mean, we've all heard of those stories, and it's a real thing.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about, because here we're not talking about, relatively inexpensive things to replace, or the actual materials necessary, and especially when you've assembled them, right? Are they constructed properly? It's like your house. You wouldn't put a house in there and say, hey, we just got a couple 2x4s and we threw together our roof.
Yeah.
That's not how you do this, right?
It's a lot of expertise that goes behind it. Like, if you're just throwing down mulch, well, anybody can do that, right? But if you're building a wall, now there's a lot of steps, a lot of things that go into it, the material that goes into it. Like I said, number one mistake we see is the drainage behind it, that a lot of people don't install because they don't know. Right, they don't know to install it, so now you got that problem.
Yeah, it wasn't raining when they built it, so probably not going to be any rain necessarily whenever the rain will come later.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And you want to make sure. I've had outdoor equipment that got rained on, not good for that, and especially when you've got a wall that's got the irrigation, right? The water becomes flowing. These are big problems that you don't want to let it happen to your installation, as I personally witnessed it with a wall that fell over.
Oh yeah.
And then you can see inside of it, and a buddy of mine was there, and he says they didn't do any of the support structure to make sure this thing stood up, which is important. But do you do residential also? But do you do some commercial? How much of each, or what do you recommend, and what do you like?
Well, we do commercial as well. I mean, I personally like residential just because like I said, I like talking to the people. There's a lot of great people here in St. Louis, awesome people.
Yeah.
So commercial is more of like get a phone call, you got a bid for this, and we go, which is awesome too. We love it.
Yeah.
But residential is my personal favorite for sure.
Yeah, a little more hands-on with the family and who it is that's actually going to be living and playing and setting up the swing set and the playground and throwing the ball off the bricks to practice their infield. That's what the Cardinal Cowboy used to do. I was taking ground balls by myself. But that's how you improve it, and giving the kids the resource they have. Plus, you're improving the value of a house.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Tell me about that. I mean, if somebody has a bare backyard versus now they've got a beautiful landscape. How much can they improve the value of their home?
Well, I try to tell that to people all the time. You know, they try to go. They're trying to sell the house. They're trying to go with the cheapest option. I'm like, well, if we install, let's say, a landscape and change it, and it's $10,000, a lot of the times it will up the house $20K, for example,
Really?
right? So you double your money. Yeah, it's very important. You know, that's the first thing you see when
Yeah.
when you go see a home is the outside.
Yeah, no,
Right.
a lot of people would imagine that's a good point because they say the outside looks great. I don't care what the inside looks like. How many bedrooms does it got? We're going to tear it apart and we're going to remodel it
Yeah.
ourselves. Do that behind the scenes, but everybody does see that outside.
Exactly.
First thing you'll notice, and then how does it look, and how does it compare, and what are you going to do to continue to improve? But commercial is good from the perspective that it's big jobs many times, and it's something that's very cut and dry, and you can make a good profit off of that, which
Yeah.
is important. Everybody hears we all have to make that bad word called profit. That's what we do in America, though. We have to pay the bills.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
as long as you're getting fair shake, and if you're doubling the value of somebody's property, that's an incredible benefit too. But of the two, between the two, you love the residential.
I love
because you get to
residential.
work
Yeah,
with-
I love
with
the people.
families.
Yeah, I love the people. I love seeing, like I said, the faces on people when they see the work we did, and just knowing that we had a little bit to do with just them raising their family or whatever they're there to do. You know, it's an awesome feeling. I love it.
Yeah, and then they get put up the soccer goal or the baseball field,
Exactly.
spread out a nice area and make it all look beautiful.
And then most of the times we maintain, you know, the grass and all that as well, so we get to see it over and over again when we go.
That's right, because you do lawn care as well.
Yeah, we do lawn
you'll
care as
come
well.
back and say, hey, we'll cut that for you too. That's a good business. I like it. You set them up here and then
Yeah,
come back and do the work. Hey, and they loved all the work you did anyway. Why wouldn't you hire the guys that set up the landscaping for you? Because they obviously did a good job with that. What do you like most about the St. Louis area and the market? You mentioned you like the people here. What are some of the benefits here? It's very diverse with regard to the different
Exactly.
types of landscaping, the different types of houses, and the exterior that you put together.
Yeah.
What do you like about St. Louis mostly?
Well, besides the people, just the fact that it's a growing city. In the last couple of years, I've seen it grow a lot. So I mean, for a business, it's good to have a business here because I mean, like I said, more people, more business, right?
Yeah,
And
true.
then the people are great, very diverse. We love that as well.
Yeah, and so you get all kinds of stuff. You got people that have 1 acre, a half an acre,
Yeah.
a quarter of an acre, just a little bitty plot,
Yeah.
all the way to people who have 5 and 10.
Yeah.
What's the biggest plot you've ever worked on?
The biggest residential,
Yeah.
I would say it was about 3 acres.
Okay.
3 acres. I mean, we didn't do work in the full 3 acres, but yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
but then, because the average homeowner in St. Louis does not have 3 acres.
Oh no.
I've got a third of an acre, so I have 1/9. I'm doing my math in my
Yeah.
head. 1/9 of what they have there, not even 10%, or a little over 10, 11%, I guess that would be, of what they had there. But they're having 3 acres, and so you got to work. They picked out a few sections of that where they really wanted some special attention paid, and you put the landscaping there. What kind of work did you do there?
Yeah, for example, we laid out the side. You know, they wanted grass right away. We laid out the side. We made flower beds, planted trees, shrubs, low maintenance stuff. They wanted low maintenance stuff, you know, because it was a big plot, so
Yeah.
low maintenance stuff. And yeah, that's what we did. We beautified it. We made it ready for their family to grow. Right
Okay.
there.
How often do you install a water fixture? Like I've got one that just keeps cycling
Yeah.
water into the little pond. But how often do you put water fixtures up in little waterfalls and those kinds
Well, I would say we get to install about one. Let's say about one every month. Yeah.
of Okay.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's pretty popular. People love water.
People love
right?
them. Yeah, they love those
And
pictures.
tell me about that. I'm getting a little techie on you, but what's
Yeah.
one of the pumps that you use? Do you have to have these big pumps at 1,500 gallons an hour, or how do you just decide what kind of pump to use to make those work?
Well, the pumps. I'll be honest with you. The pumps we have are expert. You know, the guy that deals with the sprinklers and all that. Yeah, he tells us the best thing to use. I mean, we don't want to just install everything and anything in there. You know,
Right.
We want to install what's best for your situation and your pond. Some ponds are bigger, some waterfalls are smaller. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so you get that pond because it's running all the time. And
Yeah,
it makes it look good.
exactly.
And flowing and keeps the fish. How
Commercial.
often are you putting fish into these ponds too? You do that too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they choose the fish and we put them. I mean, we're not really fish experts, but they can decide on what fish to put there for sure.
Well, go see my friends up here at Ponds Plus, everybody.
Yeah, there you
They
go.
give me all my fish, and they got actually goldfish that can live year round, even in cold water. I did put a heater in my little fish pond thing that I got out in front of my house.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, tell me though, as a matter of working with so many people, when was the time when you had to just kind of go out of your way to help somebody? You could tell they were in a tough situation, and maybe they didn't know what they were getting into, or somebody left them hanging, and you had to come in and help them.
Well, I think actually we see a lot of that in trees. You know,
Oh,
there's
really?
a lot of guys that don't have the experience needed. They just think, oh, we just get up in the tree and just start cutting it down. And just last week we met up with a older gentleman. he had this tree, and it was like barely cut down here and there. They left all the trash in the whole lawn. They didn't. It's not a very good job because they had power lines running through here. The house was really close.
Oh wow.
You know, so yeah, we had to go in there and help him. For example, we do a lot of trees like they fall on the driveway. We have to go remove them. You know, we help people in that area.
Yeah, power lines are something you always have to be wary of.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When you're trimming trees and making sure, but that's part of the landscape. Do you plant trees for people too? I guess.
Yeah, we
obviously
plant
start
trees.
off as little trees and help them grow them to big trees.
For sure. Arborvitae is really popular with people, you know, for privacy fence or just to uplift the house a lot. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and will you do a little bit of fence work too, or do you have a fence company you prefer?
We don't really dabble in fences a lot, you know, so
That's kind of the exterior.
Well, yeah, that is, but I mean, yeah, we don't really. It's
You'll build up to that though.
Yeah,
Put
exactly.
the rocks up and support it, and maybe go up to the fence. But
yeah,
because that's technically outdoor stuff, but it's really the perimeter is what I was trying to say, not the exterior. But obviously everything's an exterior. And so, but very often you're finding people, they just kind of have, because is it easy to, because it's kind of like chucking a truck. I've got a truck and I've got a shovel instead of a ladder. Now I'm a landscaping guy.
Exactly.
Let me go do your landscaping for you. So you're going in to fix that many times for people.
Oh, a lot of times. A lot of errors we see in making it happen and all that. Like, for example, like I said, very important, the patios is the basis. A lot of people, since you don't see what goes under them,
right?
You know, like you said, the Chuck with the truck just goes up there and he just throws some sand under. We see that a lot.
Oh, wow.
Just sand on the soil and then the rock on top. And you don't see what's under there, so you're like, oh, it's a great job. Year later, you have, you know, it's all pots and holes and everything. Just a mess.
This is a bad thing when you're talking about where you're...
Oh, yeah, it's just wavy, just going up and down, you know, the patio.
Okay. Not the way to do things. Tell me a time, though, when you were in a tough situation, you learned a lesson, or you had something you were like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Obviously, you made it through that and learned from it. But give me a time when you had a lesson where you had a business, but it made you stronger.
When we were first starting out, one of my biggest mistakes, I mean, we started digging to make, what was it? I believe it was a patio. We didn't check with the. I
would say, the power lines and all that.
Yeah, we didn't check the dig right.
Dig right, yeah.
We didn't check with them, and oh man, we messed up. I think it was the AT&T cable, a few of the cables they had to run for the outdoor lighting. I mean, it was a mess up, but we fixed it. We paid for everything, and after that, we always call it dig right from now on.
There you go, one of those. I've never thought to ask, but yeah, dig right.
Oh, yeah, very
call
important.
that number because they will make sure that you're not tearing it into somebody's electrical phones, or now it's the interwebs, right? You take out somebody's internet, they're going to be really upset with you.
Oh yeah.
And now they've got a big problem. But you've made it right. Did you do as much as you could, but then you paid somebody to come in and fix it?
Yeah. For example, we don't touch the cables just because if we connect them and then put everything on, and it's going to be bad, you know. But we call all the AT&T. They come out and fix it. We pay for everything.
Okay.
So it was our mess up. They just, like you said, they just come out saying, "Hey, what happened to my internet?" Oh man, you know.
No. You're like, I knew I felt I hit something down there below.
Yeah, that was my bad. We fixed it.
I recall there's a guy who was irrigating. He borrowed a digger that had this kind of a blade thing on the back of it.
Yeah.
And he cut through to help make the baseball field so the drainage would work. And he cut through all the phone lines for the entire town.
Yeah,
so
it's expensive.
Nobody had phone lines. They had something they had to do to figure out how to remedy that, but it was a hard lesson learned.
Yeah.
Yours was just a small one, and you only make that mistake once, right?
Only made the mistake once. From now on, we checked from then on, dig right every time. And the sprinkler system as well. The sprinkler companies where all the lines run, it's a very important one as well.
Okay. Yeah. Is it a pretty easy process? You call them, they take a few minutes, and how long does it take them to get you an answer about what you're cutting into?
Yeah, so basically the dig right, we usually start to plan things weeks before we're actually there. So we call them up, they say within a couple of days they're there, you know, marking all the lines.
Okay.
The homeowner, they know which company they use for the sprinklers, so usually they call them out and they tell us where every sprinkler is at, you know, because they have to have the plans of where it's at.
Right. Okay.
So yeah.
There you go. A little prep work will go a long way.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're not causing big problems that could cost you a whole lot of money in the long run. I could imagine that repair you did. It wasn't real cheap. You don't have to say the numbers, but I can imagine you're talking maybe a couple grand or more.
Oh yeah.
to get those things fixed after you've torn into the phone lines or fiber lines or putting fiber in.
Yeah, exactly. Fiber optic, yeah.
Those are things you don't want to mess up. With that, some more fun in our community, supporting our fire and police, guns and hoses. Stay tuned. This is Your Little Castle Show. We'll be back.
Go ahead and scan that QR code. It's up there on the screen right there by the stage. They're matching a donation to up to $50,000. big Club Fitness for that donation. We really appreciate it, guys.
Fitness Guns N' Roses Challenge.
Take it.
Take it. Take it.
I take challenge.
The Club Fitness Guns N' Roses Challenge.
Support families of our fallen first responders. Donate now and we match your donation.
Support the survivors.
We'll match donations up to $50,000.
Make one donation and a clear impact.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. By now, we are on ABC 5 times a week. So many businesses are loving what we're doing to help them get their name out there. We'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you, and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. It takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there's no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Professional video on your website closes more sales by instantly building trust, clearly explaining complex products, and keeping visitors engaged longer. Reducing bounce rate by 34%. It'll help you to gain that credibility, increase engagement, simplify complex tasks, lower your sales friction, and boost your rankings on the search engine. So this is all kind of a no-brainer. See how we've now had over 500 interviews and now almost 250 different business owners. Go to bigleagues.com. That's bigleagues.com. Go to bigleagues.com and get signed up. You can schedule right from there. So there you have it, everybody. More of the fun we get to partake. But pick up our book here, Magnetize Media. This is a #1 seller on Amazon. Yours truly wrote the forward introduction here. And so, Carter, you essentially wrote the first chapter. But we knew you were all about how do you magnetize, how do you take what you get from your technology. We all have one of these little smartphones in our pocket, right? And sometimes they get you weird ones like this that fold open and make it into like a tablet. They got a trifold, and then they sold out, and then they said they got them. Might be getting that one. We'll see. But I'm a techie nerd. But how has technology changed the way you run your business, Carlo? There's a lot that goes into
Yeah.
into business these days, and you want to have success. Technology will be part of that. Website, social media, you've learned that. When you lost your Facebook page and how to get that back, and all the things that go into technology.
There's definitely a lot that goes into it. Like you said, you have to make a Facebook, you have to make a Google page, a web page.
Yeah.
But it definitely helps a lot. It helps a lot to spread the word out there and get your business out there. It for sure has gotten us a lot of sales, a lot of work for sure.
Yeah, I mean, how often is it the case? People start doing some research, and if you don't have a website, you don't have social media, and the Google reviews, like create your Google page. You have to get certified now, and I know now that Google will make you take pictures of your logos on your equipment to make sure that you're a legitimate business, right? And to verify who you are. But people want to know who they're buying from, and what they're spending their money with, and it's important to make sure that you are legit and have all the resources for people. And that's why we do these interviews, everybody. 34% increase, if you watch that little clip we put in your reduction in your bounce rate, if people just see a video that looks professional. Don't do a bad video. It doesn't look good.
Quality.
But with that, lots of mistakes are made. What are some of the mistakes, without naming names of the companies, but some of the mistakes you see big companies make or other companies make that you don't let your clients make these mistakes?
Well, you're talking about the company, what the mistakes.
Yeah, or just something that works when you're working with somebody. They implement it this way, or they sell it this way, or you got to do the big thing that's much more expensive than they really need. What are some of the mistakes you see that get pushed on clients, and you don't like to make those mistakes?
Well, a lot of the mistakes that companies are making is in the pricing. If that's what you mean.
Sure, that's one.
Yeah. And in their pricing is, for example, I did this myself with starting out. You price too low.
Right.
So when you price too low, it's hard to keep up with the quality of what you want to give when you price really low, because now you're not making any profit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're all in this to make even a little bit of profit, right?
You got to make a living, right?
You can't hire people, you can't grow, and you stay there. You stay there. So that's one of the biggest mistakes I see companies
But you see
making.
on the other end, they charge too much, and
then
they inflate their prices.
Yeah, for sure. They charge too much, and they mess with the market. They mess with the market a lot, for sure.
Messing with the market, everybody. He's using big words on this here. But yeah, when you're influencing what things cost because you've got your numbers set up here and the other guys are coming in down here, people get a little confused. But you can sell that for everybody. You've been doing this for.
There's the companies that charge an arm and a leg. So now they got people thinking that to hire a landscaping company, you have to take out a second mortgage, when it's not the case. It's not that. Most of the time, it's not that expensive unless you have 3 acres that you're trying to work on.
Right. And so get the job done correctly, get the right materials. But
Yeah.
you've got suppliers that you go to
for
that
sure.
are better and give you good quality stuff
yeah.
to make sure that, and a fair price.
For sure.
But yeah, it's better to have stuff that lasts 30%, 100%, 200% longer. That costs 5%, 10% more. To make sure that you're doing these things the right way.
Exactly.
Well, tell me the process. I can imagine by now a lot of people see this interview and they're going, I want to hire this guy. Carlo knows what he's talking about. He's got a great team, six crews, and working with your dad. What is the process for somebody to hire you?
Well, right there on our webpage, you can see that there's a get your quote, so it's a fast and easy, simple process. You can either contact us there, send an email directly to me, or you can call me as well. It's quick. I mean, you give us a call, we give you a date, or you give us a date that you're available to go, and we show up, we take measurements, we need to talk to you a little bit of what you want, what you need done, and then you'll receive a quote within a day or two, max.
Okay, and you've got all the software and everything necessary to put these together. You can get the quotes turned around. Sometimes you can give quotes on the spot. Other times it takes a day at the most.
If it's a tree, for example, or a lawn that we're looking at, we can give quotes on the spot right there. If it's a bigger project, let's say a patio, a retaining wall, or something, bigger, we do need to take measurements, take into account what material we're going to use, all that. But, it might be two days at max.
There you go. They've got a system in place, everybody. Carlo knows what he's doing. That's why he's been doing this for so long and had success and had the great reviews and great pictures that he's, with all of his work, doing wonderful things to help this little corner of our planet. What's the service area? What area do you service? Is it all St. Louis? You go?
It's all of St. Louis.
Okay.
The only place we don't go. Well, we try not to go a lot into the Illinois part, just because when you're talking about permits and all that, if it's bigger projects, it changes a lot of the laws.
Yeah, I know.
But,
in Illinois, they require all kinds of licenses
Yeah,
and stuff.
but here we go anywhere from Kirkwood, Baldwin, Frontenac, all the way to St. Charles here. So Arnold, just all greater St. Louis area as well. Yeah.
Do you work in L.A.?
In L.A.
In L.A. Lower Arnold? Los Angeles? Lower Afton? That's another one too, everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, the good joke I saw a billboard years ago, it said, John Goodman, The man from L.A. He was from Lower Afton. There's Upper Afton, Lower. He was from Afton. My mom taught John Goodman drama back in high school.
Awesome.
And still keeps in touch with him. But yeah, you work all over, including L.A. And I grew up in East L.A., which is known as Fenton.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is,
awesome.
I'm sorry, West L.A. Yeah, sorry, West L.A. Sorry. But yeah, I want to say East. But there's East, you go over, you're in Illinois at that point. But the Columbia would be East L.A. But good work that you did there. Well, I appreciate that. That's a good process you have in order, too, to make sure everybody gets it. What's the biggest question? What's the biggest objection? We call it overcoming objections. What's the biggest question somebody has for you? Is it the price, or how soon can they do it, or why does it cost what it costs? What's the question people have?
You could imagine it's the price. You know, the price is most of the time the biggest objection. Just because some people don't understand everything that goes into this, you know. We don't even make a lot of profit from it. It's mostly the things that go behind it, right? Behind the process of everything getting done. So the guys got to get paid.
Yeah, the materials, the labor.
Materials are expensive, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so it's mostly the price. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's this price here? What's this going to cost me? But think about what's the value, though. Right?
Yeah,
That's what you really
exactly.
got to understand. And you're increasing the value of their house. It's going to make it'll raise the value at least what it costs.
Exactly.
And as your house goes up in equity, my house, I bought it at a decent price, and now it's worth almost double. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so it's a good investment into your house to have those kinds of things to improve the value of your home, which is all of what we are looking for on this little planet. And have a good, valuable house, and landscaping is the key for that. What gives you, ultimately, when it boils down to it, what gives you the most satisfaction for what you get to do every day? Why do you wake up to do this every day? What do you enjoy most about it?
Oh, we help people a lot. You know, anywhere from drainage, for example, is one of the main things we help people with also as well. And so that's, for example, when you're getting water into your basement or into your living room, you know, because the water it's been raining a lot. Last year it rained a lot. You know, we were able to help a lot of people with those problems. You know, stay dry. So
yes,
just help
water
people.
Irrigation is such a big issue. I live on. I'm like down the hill, but I'm along the hill.
Yeah.
I'm not even at the bottom of the hill, I'm not at the top of the hill. But you can still get water overrun when it rains, and you get your sewer and your sump pump and all those kinds of things. But make sure your irrigation. I'll never forget one time where I had a pond put in that I may or may not have done myself. It's up against the front wall, and one time water was running over inside the house because it was right up to get to where that is. These are not good things. We fixed it, everybody. We took care of it. But these are stressful things you can get in there. With that, I want to show off one more time. Also on your website, you've got a lot of your great pictures from your work. So just beautiful work that you do. A lot of information there for people that can see the extraordinary work that you put together. Get a hold of you right there and see the information. Got your hours. And easy to find. I love that website name you got there, especially. But when you got a website called highendoutdoor.com, you know you're dealing with the guys who are doing the best work on the high end for what you want. Even though it doesn't necessarily cost. It doesn't sound like you charge high end, but you give that high end, high quality work for people.
Exactly. No, I wanted a name that would tell people that we're offering high end quality service, but at affordable prices. You know, at competitive prices.
There we go. I've never finished up a show using the pencil, but high end quality work for an affordable price. That's a key to success for anybody on this little planet. We've got an expert here. Thank you, Carlo, for spending some time with us here.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. This is the Your Little Castle Show. Giddy up.